Hey everyone, it's Brian Carroll here. Welcome back. I have a 30-day experiment that I've been working on that I want to share with you guys. So go get some snacks, sit back, and let's chat. Greetings everyone, welcome back. Today I want to chat about an experiment that I'm beginning that's designed to help improve technique. I wanted to share it all with you because as musicians or budding musicians, I know we all hit roadblocks and challenges and may seem insurmountable. My hope here is that this might be something that you find useful or that you may be able to modify to fit your own needs. Now originally I was calling this like a 30-day challenge, but honestly this is really more of an experiment because it hasn't really been road tested, but honestly I feel like if you follow through with these things, you're going to see improvement in technique. And I also want to distinguish this from other licks of the month or other things like that I'm working on. I mean, this is an experiment. It's strictly exercise based. It's not a challenge to learn a phrase or a song. I mean, these are just straight up practice exercises. Oh, and for those of you new to the channel, please go check out my lick of the month videos and my other videos, see what this channel is all about. All right, so just to give you a little bit of background. I mean, being perfectly honest with y'all, I am not a fast picker. My hand synchronization, my technique in general at faster speeds is, I mean, honestly, it sucks. And by faster speeds, I don't mean like high speed riffs of 150 BPM and higher played in 16ths or 16th note triplets, 30 seconds and the like. I'm talking moderately fast rock tempos, like 120, 125 BPM, just played in straight up 16th notes. I mean, for me personally, my picking really begins to fall apart at about 110 BPM played in 16ths. And that's like the magic threshold for me. And then of course, I mean, that's all dependent on what I'm playing, but I can sometimes do short bursts of speed, but it's usually only up to about maybe 6 notes or so at those speeds. But longer runs and more intricate patterns are pretty much out of the question, even with good practice. So suffice it to say that in general, playing anything above 110 BPM, I find challenging. Okay, so all that being said, I'm pretty confident that all of this has to do with my technique. And the reason that I say that is because I know I can pick that fast. So for example, I can set up a metronome to 150 BPM and my picking can keep up. I also know that my right hand can also move that fast, at least when I'm playing relatively simple phrases. So again, for example, I can play an ascending chromatic using legato at this speed. So however though, when I combine the two, it doesn't always work. And so if we continue to use the chromatic scale and I attempt to play to the speed, there's literally no synchronization. And if I drop this down to 125, I still struggle to keep up. So, honestly, I really don't know what the issue is. It could be anything right now. I mean, it could be picking mechanics. I mean, that includes string changing, it could be string skipping. It could be hand strength in general. I mean, strength in my hands, I mean, and not just like tensor strength, but also, flexor strength. I do know that doing speed runs really fatigues my hands pretty quickly, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does have to do with muscle and muscle tone. I mean, it could be general tension. I mean, not just in my hands, but honestly, maybe my shoulders, my back, maybe my posture's kind of messed up. In short, it could be any number of things. So I really need to figure out what those things might be. Oh, before I get into any more details, I want to bring up an excellent resource for picking mechanics. Troy Grady has been doing research and amassing data regarding picking styles and various picking mechanics involved in those styles for many years. He's compiled all this data, he's made it available in his Cracking the Code series. So everything you want to know about picking mechanics, picking styles, how famous players apply them, as well as a very well-run forum, lessons, interviews, the ability to upload a video of yourself and your own playing to be analyzed. I mean, everything you really want to know about the subject is there. I mean, at the very least, it gives you options and things to consider regarding your own playing and your own style. There's content that he does provide for free, but there is a lot behind a paywall. It does require you to sign up, but there are various subscription options to choose from. And even if you were to just do a monthly sub for limited time, the cost is still nominal for the information that you get. If you're not familiar with them, or even if you are, I highly recommend that you check them out. You can get to his site at troygrady.com. And I'm also going to post a link down below in the description in this video. So I've defined the experiment as such. First, duration is going to be 30 days. I will start at a speed that I know that I can play consistently and play well. And every day, I'm going to be adding 1 BPM to this speed. So for me, I've decided to start at 95 BPM. So theoretically, in 30 days, I should be able to break my barrier and be playing at 125 BPM. Okay, so for each one of the practice sessions, there's going to be 3 distinct exercises. First exercise is going to be a chromatic exercise, and this exercise is based on one of John Petrucci's warm-ups featured in his Rock Discipline series. So starting wherever you want, I'm actually starting on the A, because all rock players start at A, and you're just basically going to play this like this. You're just going to do an ascending chromatic, starting in A, and then you're going to go up to the A string and play it again, and then you're going to go up to the D string and play it again, and then you go to the G string and play it again. But then here, you're going to shift up. So you're going to play this, and then shift up again, and then play up the next string, and then shift up. So when you're done, you're going to end up on the 11th fret or the D sharp, and then when you play that note, you're going to go descend on the chromatic, and then just keep going down the strings. And when you get to the D string, you play down, and then you're going to shift, play up, shift, down, and then this next string, E string, and then shift down, and you're back to your A string. So again, you could play this however you want. The point is that this is an alternate pick 4-note per string chromatic, and that you're just consistent with that. So now this particular exercise really is focusing more on hand synchronization and accuracy. String changes are at an absolute minimum. You're playing 4 notes before you even change a string, and those changes are on the downbeat. So your focus is really going to be more on playing all the notes. And what this is hopefully going to do is A, get your hands in sync, but also work on your ability to get your right hand playing all the notes and playing them all clearly. Okay, so the next exercise in the series here is going to be a 3-note per string major scale. So we're going to start at A again, and we're going to basically play just a typical 3-note per string scale run. And again, this is going to be all alternate pick. So to play this, if you're not familiar with it, is we'll start on the A on the E string, and what we'll do is just play this sequence. So we'll start at 5th fret, 5, 7, 9, go up to the A string, 5, 7, 9, go up to the D string, 6, 7, 9, go up to the G string, 6, 7, 9, B string, 7, 9, 10, and then E string, 7, 9. And this is where I turn around and I go back to 7. So that last string is going to go, and then you just descend down. So you're going to go 10, 9, 7, 9, 7, 6, 9, 7, 6, 9, 7, 5, 9, 7, 5. Okay, so this exercise is focusing on a couple of things. One, since we're alternate picking this, then the picking sequence is changing for each string. So what that means is that we start by down, say we start with a down pick. So those first three notes we're picking down, up, down. But when we change to the next string to stay with true alternate picking, we're going to be picking an up, down, up. And then we're going to be playing a down, up, and so on up to strings. And what that's going to do is challenge us when we are changing strings, because what's going to happen is we're going to be playing the first run. Now we're going to have to hop over the string and come back up. And now what we're going to do here, now that we're ending with an upstroke, we hit that downstroke, we've got to basically go back in. It's more challenging than just basically picking downstrokes on every single downbeat. Troy Grady's site, the one that I mentioned earlier, is a great reference for the different mechanics and things that go into these types of string changes. So I recommend checking that out. Again, his URL is troygrady.com, and it is down below in the video comments. So I strongly urge you, just go check it out and just read through it to kind of understand the different kinds of mechanics that go with these different kinds of string changes. The second thing that we're working with here is that we're not changing strings on the downbeat. So in other words, the number of notes per string isn't divisible by the meter. So if we're in 4/4 time and we're picking 3 notes per string, then we're not changing strings on the downbeat. If you are, then we're playing triplets. But the idea is not to play triplets. The idea is to stay in 4/4 with each subdivision being a 16th note. To illustrate that, the downbeats, I'm going to try to accent them as best as I can here, but the downbeats are going to be so you can see I've got a downbeat here, I've got a downbeat here, I've got a downbeat here, so they're not all in the same place on each string. So just be aware of that. Okay, so the next exercise in sequence here, the last exercise in the sequence here, is just going to be a straight up minor pentatonic run. And because I really dig an A today, we're going to stay in A. So really, it's just a general sequence. If we start at A, we're going to be starting on the E string, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5. Now that's the way I've been playing it, and this is how I practice it typically. And what you'll notice is that when you're playing it ascending, you're down picking every string change, but on your turnaround and you come back, you're actually upstroke on every string change. And honestly, the point is to be consistent with your picking. You can play it however you want to, really. Whatever is going to challenge you the most. Ultimately, what we're looking at for this particular exercise, what's really being focused on, is that there are more frequent string changes, and as well as trying to work on your articulation. Because you're changing strings more often, it's requiring you to do 2 different kinds of mechanics. You're doing string changes and trying to hit that note at the same time. So this one is actually going to push both your picking and your fretting hand. Okay, so now that we know what we're going to be playing, let's talk about how we're going to execute all of this. So, first off, for every session, the plan is to warm up by playing each exercise for 30 seconds each at 10 BPM higher than the daily speed. So, if you're going to be practicing at 100 BPM for the day, then you're going to want to warm up at 110. And don't rest in between, just play straight through. So play the chromatics, play the 3 note per string major scale, and play the pentatonic, just playing straight through, no stopping. You might sound sloppy at the higher speed, but don't let that stop you. Just do the best you can, play through it. The point of this is to illuminate any issues you might have at a higher speed than you're comfortable with, and be able to readily compare them to speeds that you can play. I mean, ultimately, we want to be more aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it, and how it differs from speeds that we can play at. Second, play each one of these at the daily speed for 3 minutes each, with 30 seconds of rest in between. So if you're at 100 BPM for the day, play the chromatic for 3 minutes and then rest for 30 seconds. Then play the 3 note per string major and then rest for 30 seconds, and then play the pentatonic for 3 minutes. Each time when I'm talking about resting for 30 seconds in between, that's go ahead, shake out your arms, do some stretching, just kind of kind of get yourself back in. These are marathon runs, so you're going to get tired. If 3 minutes is not long enough, if it's too easy, then push it and try 4 or maybe 5 minutes. I mean, honestly, it really depends on what skill level you're at, how strong you are, and you know, those kinds of factors. Obviously, don't play any of these things if you have any pain, and don't play until you have pain. If you experience any kind of pain, we're not talking muscle soreness or fatigue, but like real pain radiating out of your joints or from your muscles themselves, stop. You know, this is not worth hurting yourself. There's other things to consider here, so don't play if you're experiencing pain. So the last point is really, in all, you're going to be playing for about 13 to 14 minutes total, which really isn't a lot of time, honestly. If you're busy, then this really is a manageable chunk of time. If you have more time that you can devote to this, and you can do this in multiple sessions, please do it. You know, you do it however many times you want. But I'm really just saying, like, if you were to sit down and do this once, it's going to take you anywhere between 12 to 15 minutes to do it. The idea is that this is done daily and diligently. That's the most important thing here. Okay, so to reiterate, while we're doing this, we should really be aware of how we're playing, our posture, any muscle tension, etc. It does help to kind of keep a journal of this. So, you know, write down anything that you may notice while you're playing. Don't stop playing to go write it down, but make a note, and when you're done with it, try to get into a habit of journaling all of this, because going back and reviewing all of this really is a valuable exercise in helping us understand what we're playing and how we're playing it. And don't stop playing if you start to tire or have any kind of muscle tension. Just keep it up, but all you really need to do is just be aware of the tension. And if it's obvious where the tension is coming from, like if your shoulder's tightening up or your back is slouching a little bit, then make some minor adjustments to help alleviate it. But don't stop. Just kind of keep playing through it. And muscle tension or muscle soreness is okay. Because think about, like, when you're exercising, you will get muscle soreness, but you need to exercise through it. And that's ultimately how you're building muscle. And that's really what we're doing with our hands here, is we're building that muscle, not just the tensor strength, but I think more importantly, our flexor strength on the back of our hands and here, because that's really where we're going to get the nice note articulation from. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to perform some short excerpts of these exercises, kind of just to record where I'm at now, at both 95 BPM and then again at my goal of 125 BPM. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So you can see from those videos that I am struggling at the higher speeds. So after 30 days, I'm going to perform these exercises again at both 95 and 125, and we'll do some analysis to see how things went. What I'm hoping is, if there's any improvement at 95, I'm hoping that it just is much clearer and more articulate. But it is a speed that I currently can play at, so I don't really expect too much from that. What I really hope, though, is that at 125, things are going to be a lot cleaner, they're going to be much more articulate, and I'm going to be much more comfortable in my playing. Okay, that's it. I'll check back in 30 days. We'll see what kind of analysis I've come up with. In the meantime, I'd love to hear from any of you as well who can take and use this or modify it for your own use. Please leave me any comments on things that you've had to work through, the various solutions you've come up with to overcome your own hurdles, the various programs that you've followed that have kind of helped you through all this. I mean, the learning process on this kind of stuff is just, it's fascinating to me. I love it. All right, well, that's it. That's a wrap for me for this week. Thanks everyone for watching and hanging out. And as always, I had a blast doing this, and I plan to keep on doing more videos. So if you like what you see here, please subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell to be notified of new content. I mean, you can follow me. I'm on Instagram. I'm at BC_rocker. And please leave me comments if you have anything to chat about. I'd love to hear from you. All I ask is that you just be nice. So thanks again, everyone. We'll see you soon.